Admiral Kim Dae-ho stood at the window of his command center, looking out at the stars. The metal walls around him hummed with the sound of machines working. His uniform was clean and pressed, but his face showed the weight of 5 long years of war. The communication device on his desk made a sharp sound. A message was coming in. "Admiral, we have an urgent message from the Galactic Council," said Lieutenant Park Min-soo. The young officer's voice was tight with worry. "Ambassador Park Soo-jin is requesting immediate contact." Kim Dae-ho turned away from the window. Park Soo-jin was humanity's voice in the galaxy's government. She had been at the council headquarters for 3 months. If she was calling now, something big was happening. "Put her through," Kim Dae-ho said. The screen in front of him lit up. Park Soo-jin's face appeared. She looked tired. Her usually perfect hair was messy and dark circles sat under her eyes. Behind her, Kim Dae-ho could see the inside of a transport ship. "Admiral, I'm on my way back to Seoul," Park Soo-jin said. "The council has made a formal request. They want peace talks." Kim Dae-ho felt his stomach tighten. The last time the aliens had talked about peace, 3 million people died. "What kind of peace talks?" "They say they're tired of fighting. All 12 species want to end the war. They're asking for a meeting on Kepler 442b, neutral ground." Park Soo-jin paused. "Admiral, they seem scared." Before Kim Dae-ho could answer, another voice came from behind him. "Don't trust them." Kim Dae-ho turned to see Lee Hyo-seok walking into the room. The chief intelligence officer carried a data pad in his hand. His face was grim. "What do you have, Lee?" Kim Dae-ho asked. Lee Hyo-seok placed the data pad on the desk. "Surveillance footage from 3 days ago. Our spy drones caught this near the Centauri colonies." The screen changed to show space footage. Ships moved in formation. Lots of ships. More ships than Kim Dae-ho had seen in one place since the war started. "That's the Zephyrian Third Fleet," Lee Hyo-seok said. "And they're the Corvidian Battle Group. And those are Nexari carriers." He pointed to different parts of the screen. "They're all moving toward human space. All of them." Park Soo-jin leaned forward on the communication screen. "That can't be right. The council members swore they were pulling back their forces." "They lied," Lee Hyo-seok said simply. "Just like they lied 5 years ago." Kim Dae-ho felt old anger burning in his chest. 5 years ago, the aliens had promised peace then, too. They had asked for talks. They had smiled and shaken hands with human diplomats. Then they had bombed New Busan. "How many ships?" Kim Dae-ho asked. "Over 2,000. Maybe more. They're trying to hide them behind asteroids and gas clouds, but our new sensors can see through that." Lee Hyo-seok switched to another image. "And this is from yesterday." The new image showed construction. Massive construction. New shipyards, new weapons platforms, new bases. All of them pointed toward human territory. "They're not preparing for peace talks," Kim Dae-ho said. "They're preparing for war." Park Soo-jin's face went pale on the screen. "But why ask for talks at all? Why not just attack?" Lee Hyo-seok smiled, but it wasn't a happy smile. "Because they want us all in one place. Think about it. Get all our leaders, all our top military people, all our best diplomats on one planet. Then bomb it." Kim Dae-ho nodded slowly. It made sense. Evil sense, but sense. Just like New Busan. The room went quiet. Everyone knew about New Busan. Everyone remembered. "I need to address the Colonial Congress," Kim Dae-ho said. "They need to know what we're facing." 2 hours later, Kim Dae-ho stood before the assembled representatives of humanity's colonies. The great hall was full. People sat in every seat. More stood along the walls. The air was thick with tension. 5 years ago, Kim Dae-ho began, the Galactic Council invited us to join their alliance. They said they wanted friendship. They said they wanted peace. He pressed a button on his podium. The screens around the hall lit up with images from New Busan. Before the attack, it had been a beautiful world. Green fields, blue oceans, white cities full of life. They promised us safety if we joined them. They promised our colonies would be protected. They promised that war was a thing of the past. The screens changed. Now they showed New Busan after the attack. Black craters where cities used to be. Burned fields, empty oceans. 3.2 million people died that day, Kim Dae-ho said. His voice was steady, but his hands shook. Men, women, children, families, dreams, all gone in one day. A woman in the audience started to cry. Others looked angry. Many looked scared. The aliens said it was an accident. They said their weapons malfunctioned. They said they were trying to hit military targets, not civilians. Kim Dae-ho's voice got harder. But we found the truth later. They aimed at schools. They aimed at hospitals. They aimed at children. The hall was completely quiet now. Today they come to us again with talk of peace. They say they're tired of fighting. They say they want to end the war. Kim Dae-ho looked around the room, meeting as many eyes as he could. But our intelligence shows they're building the biggest fleet in galactic history. All aimed at us. Representative Cho Ye-jin stood up in the front row. What are you recommending, Admiral? Kim Dae-ho took a deep breath. I'm recommending we remember. We remember every promise they broke. We remember every lie they told. We remember every child they killed. He pressed another button. The screens now showed human ships. Lots of human ships. More than most people knew existed. 5 years ago we were weak. We trusted too much. We believed too easily. Kim Dae-ho's voice grew stronger. We're not weak anymore. The images showed human factories working day and night. Human shipyards building new vessels. Human colonies training new soldiers. They think we'll make the same mistake twice. They think we'll trust their words again. They think we'll forget New Busan. Kim Dae-ho's voice filled the hall. They're wrong. Representative Nam Tae-ho raised his hand. Are you saying we should reject the peace talks? I'm saying we should go to the peace talks, Kim Dae-ho replied. But we go with our eyes open. We go ready for anything. We go remembering what happened the last time we believed them. The hall erupted in discussion. People talked loudly to each other. Some argued. Some nodded in agreement. But Kim Dae-ho could see the decision forming on their faces. Humanity would not be fooled again. Later that night, Kim Dae-ho stood again at his window. The stars looked the same as always. But he knew that somewhere out there, alien fleets were moving. Somewhere out there, enemies were planning humanity's destruction. He thought about the children of New Busan. He thought about the promises the aliens had made. He thought about the lies they had told. This time would be different. Commander Yoon Tae-min pressed his body against the cold metal wall of the alien station. His breathing was quiet and controlled. The stealth suit he wore made him almost invisible, but almost wasn't good enough. If the aliens caught him here, the war would be over before it really began. He moved carefully through the dark corridors of the Zephyrian command post. His mission was simple. Find out what the aliens were really planning. The peace talks were still 3 weeks away, but human intelligence needed to know the truth. The sound of alien voices came from ahead. Yoon Tae-min stopped and listened. He couldn't understand their language, but his suit was recording everything. The translation computers back home would figure it out later. He reached a large window and looked out into space. What he saw made his blood run cold. Ships filled the darkness. Hundreds of them. Maybe thousands. All different types from all different alien species, but all working together. This wasn't a normal fleet. This was an invasion force. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Han Mi-young sat in her laboratory surrounded by alien communication devices. The machines had been captured from destroyed alien ships over the past year. She had been working day and night to understand how they worked. The breakthrough came at 3 in the morning. I've got something, she called to her assistant, Dr. Bae-jin Woo. Look at this. On her screen, alien text scrolled by. But now, for the first time, she could read it. How did you crack their encryption? Dr. Bae asked. I didn't crack it, Dr. Han Mi-young said. They changed it. They made it simpler. Like they wanted us to understand. She pointed to the screen. This is a message from the Corvidian High Command to all their fleet captains. It says Operation Final Solution begins in 22 days. All human settlements to be sterilized. No survivors. Dr. Bae's face went white. Final solution? Dr. Han Mi-young scrolled through more messages. Here's another one. From the Nexari Council. Bioweapon deployment confirmed for summit location. Human DNA markers locked in. Atmospheric dispersal will ensure complete species elimination. She turned to look at Dr. Bae. They're not just planning to attack us. They're planning to wipe us out completely. On the other side of the galaxy, General Oh Sung-woo read reports from human colonies. Each report told the same story. Alien ships were moving into position around human worlds. Not attacking yet, but getting ready. Sir, said his aide, Captain Park Bo-young, we're getting similar reports from all sectors. The aliens are calling it protective positioning for the peace talks. Protective, General Oh repeated. Right, how many ships? Captain Park looked at her tablet. Current count is over 5,000 alien vessels in human space or near human space. That's more than double what they had during their last major offensive. General O walked to his wall map. Red dots showed alien ship positions. There were a lot of red dots. They're surrounding us. Sir, there's more. Captain Park's voice was tight. The aliens have been jamming communications between our colonies. They say it's to prevent misunderstandings during the peace process. Of course they are. General O felt tired. 5 years of war, and the aliens were still playing the same games. What about our fleet positions? Admiral Kim has been moving our ships into defensive positions, but quietly. The aliens don't know about our new bases in the outer systems. General O nodded. At least humanity had learned something from New Busan. In space near the agricultural world of New Daejeon, Captain Shin Bora commanded the stealth frigate Silent Storm. Her ship was invisible to alien sensors, hidden in the shadow of a small moon. But she could see everything happening around the colony world. "Captain," said her communications officer, Lieutenant Kim Sang-ho, "I'm picking up alien chatter. Lots of it. What are they saying?" "It's encrypted, but the volume suggests a major operation. Maybe 100 ships moving into attack formation." Captain Shin looked at her tactical display. New Daejeon was home to 15 million people. Most of them were farmers and their families. They had no military defenses beyond a small patrol fleet. "Sir," said her sensor operator, "I'm detecting weapons charging on the alien vessels. Multiple ships." Captain Shin felt her heart start beating faster. "How long until they're in firing position?" 6 hours, maybe 7. She had a choice to make. If she warned New Daejeon, the aliens would know humanity was watching. The peace talks might be called off. But if she didn't warn them, millions of people would die. It wasn't really a choice at all. Lieutenant Kim opened an emergency channel to New Daejeon Defense Command. "Full encryption. Channel open, Captain. New Daejeon Defense, this is Captain Shin Bora of the Silent Storm. You have alien attack fleets moving toward your world. ETA 6 hours. Get your people underground now." The response came quickly. "Silent Storm, this is Colonel Yang Dae-wan. Are you certain?" "The aliens promised no military movements during peace negotiations." Captain Shin looked at her display. The red dots representing alien ships were getting closer to New Daejeon. "Colonel, I'm looking at over 90 alien warships in attack formation. Get your people to safety, now." She cut the connection and turned to her crew. "Prepare to jump to hyperspace. We need to get this information back to Earth." But before the Silent Storm could leave, the attack began. Beams of energy lanced down from space toward New Daejeon. The planet's defense satellites died first, cut apart by alien weapons. Then the orbital stations went dark. Finally, the beams reached the surface. Captain Shin watched cities burn. She watched farms turn to ash. She watched millions of lights go out forever. "Captain," Lieutenant Kim's voice was barely a whisper. "The aliens are sending a message to the Galactic Council. They're reporting a tragic accident. They say their weapons malfunctioned during a training exercise." Captain Shin's hands clenched into fists. "Just like New Busan. What are your orders, Captain?" She looked at the burning world on her screen. "Another 3 million people dead. Another alien accident, another lie. Take us home," she said. "Admiral Kim needs to know what really happened here." Back on Earth, the reports came in one by one. Commander Yoon Taemin's recordings showed massive alien fleets preparing for war. Dr. Han Mi-young's translations revealed alien plans for complete human genocide. General Oh Seung-woo's intelligence confirmed alien ships surrounding human colonies. And now, Captain Shin. Bora brought news of New Daejeon's destruction. Admiral Kim. Dae-ho stood in his command center, surrounded by his senior staff. The evidence was overwhelming. The peace talks were a trap. The aliens weren't tired of fighting. They were preparing for humanity's final destruction. "They think we're the same people who trusted them 5 years ago," Admiral Kim said. "They think we'll believe their lies again." He looked around the room at his officers. These were good people, smart people, people who had learned from humanity's mistakes. "Lee Hyo-seok, what's the status of our hidden fleet?" "Ready, sir. 3,000 ships in positions the aliens don't know about, all equipped with our new weapons." "Dr. Han, can you keep monitoring alien communications?" "Yes, sir. I've cracked most of their codes now. We'll know what they're planning before they do it." Admiral Kim nodded. "Then we go to the peace talks as planned. But we go ready for war." The room was quiet for a moment. Everyone understood what this meant. Humanity was walking into a trap. But this time humanity would be ready. "Sir," said Colonel Jiang Kisiok, "what if they really do want peace? What if we're wrong?" Admiral Kim looked at the images from New Daejeon still playing on his screens. Burning cities. Dead children. Another alien accident. "Then we'll find out at the peace talks," he said. "But if they're lying again, if they try to hurt us again, they're going to learn something new about humanity." "What's that, sir?" Admiral Kim's voice was cold as space. "We remember everything." The planet Kepler 442b looked peaceful from space. White clouds swirled over blue oceans and green continents. It was chosen as the site for peace talks because no species claimed it as home. "Neutral ground," the aliens had said. "Safe ground." Ambassador Park Soo-jin watched the planet grow larger through the window of her transport ship. Behind her sat the rest of the human delegation. Colonel Jiang Kisiok checked his weapon for the 10th time. Dr. An Yerim reviewed her notes about alien cultures. They all knew this might be a trap, but they had to try for peace. The landing went smoothly. Too smoothly, Park Soo-jin thought. Alien security forces were everywhere, but they seemed nervous. They kept looking at the human delegation like they were afraid. The conference center was massive. 12 different alien species had built it together, each adding their own style. The result was strange but beautiful. Crystal spires reached toward the sky. Metal gardens held plants from a dozen worlds. Water fountains played music in alien languages. "Welcome, honored humans," said Chancellor Vorth Prime, the leader of the Galactic Council. The alien was tall and thin, with 4 arms and skin like purple metal. "We are so pleased you accepted our invitation." Park Soo-jin bowed slightly. "We hope these talks will bring lasting peace to the galaxy." Yes, peace, that is what we all want." Vorth Prime's voice was too eager, like he was trying too hard to sound sincere. The first day of talks began in the Great Assembly Hall. Representatives from all 12 alien species sat around a huge circular table. The humans sat together on one side, looking small compared to the massive alien delegates. "We have fought for too long," announced Keltar Morvain, the Zephyrian war leader. "Our worlds are tired. Our people want to go home. We propose immediate ceasefire across all sectors." The other alien leaders nodded and made sounds of agreement in their various languages. "The terms we offer are generous," continued Jex High Corum, speaking for the Corvidians. "Humans may keep all currently held territories. We will establish trade agreements, technology sharing, cultural exchange." Dr. An Yerim leaned over to Park Soo-jin and whispered, "This is too good to be true. No winner in a war gives terms like this." Park Soo-jin nodded slightly. She had the same feeling. "We appreciate your generous offer," Park Soo-jin said out loud. "But we must ask, why now? What has changed?" The aliens looked at each other. Several of them seemed uncomfortable with the question. "War is expensive," said Nex Holvorn, the Nexari representative. "Our economies suffer. Our people grow weary of conflict. Surely peace benefits everyone." Colonel Jiang Kisiok spoke up. "What about military forces? Will fleets be withdrawn from contested areas?" "Of course," Vorth Prime said quickly. "All fleets will return to home territories. No military presence in disputed space." That evening, the human delegation met in their secured quarters. The rooms were comfortable but felt like a cage. Too many alien guards outside. Too many alien ships in orbit. "They're lying about something," Dr. An said. "I've studied alien body language for years. They're terrified." "Terrified of what?" asked Colonel Jiang. "Of us," Park Soo-jin said quietly. Meanwhile, in another part of the compound, Agent Bae Sung-ho was busy. Officially, he was part of the delegation's security team. Unofficially, he was humanity's best spy. While the aliens focused on the peace talks, he was breaking into their communication systems. It wasn't even hard. The aliens had focused so much on hiding their military movements that they had ignored basic computer security. What he found in their files made his blood run cold. Reports from alien fleet commanders. Status updates on something called Operation Clean Slate. Records of battles that humans didn't even know about. And everywhere the same message. Human forces were winning. Not just winning individual battles. Winning the entire war. Agent Bae read through battle reports with growing amazement. At Rigel 7, 50 human ships had defeated 200 alien vessels. At the Vega asteroid field, human fighters had destroyed an entire alien carrier group without losing a single pilot. At Wolf 359, human ground troops had captured a Zephyrian fortress in 6 hours. The numbers were incredible. Humans had won 847 out of the last 850 engagements. The aliens were facing total military collapse. But the most shocking discovery was a private communication between alien leaders. It was marked highest classification and had been sent just hours before the peace talks began. The message was simple. Human military doctrine has proved superior to all countermeasures. Our forces cannot stop their advance. Recommend immediate surrender negotiations before complete defeat. Agent Bay copied everything onto a secure data device and made his way back to the human quarters. Ambassador, he whispered to Park Soo-jin, we need to talk. Privately. They stepped into a bathroom and turned on the water to mask their conversation. What did you find? Park Soo-jin asked. We're winning, Agent Bay said. Not just holding our own. Winning. The aliens are getting destroyed in every battle. Park Soo-jin felt the world shift around her. That's impossible. Our reports show the war is balanced. Our reports are wrong. Or incomplete. Look at this. He showed her the data on a small screen. Human ships have better weapons, better armor, better tactics. Human soldiers are better trained, better equipped, better led. Human strategy is so far ahead of theirs that they can't even understand how we do it. Park Soo-jin read through the alien files. Each report told the same story. Human victory after human victory. Alien retreat after alien retreat. If we're winning so badly, why don't we know about it? She asked. Because Admiral Kim and the High Command have been keeping it secret. They don't want the aliens to know how desperate their situation is. Better to let them think the war is even. Park Soo-jin looked at more files. Alien civilian populations were fleeing their homeworlds. Alien governments were preparing for complete military defeat. Alien leaders were terrified that humans would show no mercy. They think we're monsters, she whispered. After New Busan and New Daejeon, can you blame them? Agent Bay asked. On the second day of peace talks, the aliens became even more desperate. They offered humans entire star systems. They offered to share their most advanced technology. They offered to pay tribute, please, Chancellor Vorth Prime said, and his voice actually shook. We only want peace. Your people and our people, living together in harmony. Park Soo-jin looked around the table at the alien faces. For the first time, she saw them clearly. They weren't proud conquerors offering generous terms. They were beaten enemies begging for mercy. Chancellor, she said carefully, these terms seem very favorable to humanity. What guarantee do we have that your people will honor them? The alien leaders looked at each other with something close to panic. Any guarantee you require, Vorth Prime said quickly. Hostages, if necessary. Inspectors on our worlds. Whatever you need to feel secure. Dr. An leaned over to Park Soo-jin again. He's offering to let us occupy their planets. That's not a peace treaty. That's surrender. The truth hit Park Soo-jin like a physical blow. The aliens weren't negotiating from strength. They were negotiating from complete defeat. They had come to these talks expecting to surrender, not to make peace between equals. That night, Park Soo-jin sent an encrypted message back to Earth. The message was short but clear. The enemy wants to surrender. What are your instructions? The reply came 12 hours later, directly from Admiral Kim Dae-ho. Do not accept surrender yet. We need to know why they really started this war, and we need to make sure they can never start another one. On the third day, Chancellor Vorth Prime made his final offer. Honored humans, he said, and his voice carried the weight of desperation. We place ourselves at your mercy. We offer complete disarmament of our fleets. We offer to withdraw from all contested territories. We offer to pay reparations for past misunderstandings. He could barely say the words. The great assembly hall was completely silent. All we ask, Vorth Prime continued, is that you allow our civilians to live. We know humans are capable of great mercy. We have heard stories of human kindness even in war. Please, show us that mercy now. Park Soo-jin realized that the aliens thought humans were about to exterminate them. They thought the peace talks were just a formality before complete genocide. She stood up slowly. Every alien in the room watched her with fear in their eyes. We will consider your offer, she said. But first we need honest answers to honest questions. Relief flooded the alien faces. They had expected rejection. They had expected death. Instead, they got hope. What do you want to know? Vorth Prime asked. Park Soo-jin looked at him steadily. Everything. Starting with why you really attacked us 5 years ago. The silence that followed was the sound of a galaxy holding its breath. Fleet Admiral Song Haijin stood before the memorial wall on New Busan. The quantum crystal stretched up toward the gray sky, 40 meters tall and 10 meters wide. Names were carved into its surface. 247,891 names. Every person who died when the aliens bombed the planet 5 years ago. Lee Acha, age 7, Admiral Song read aloud. Her voice carried across the memorial plaza to thousands of people gathered there. Park Jun-ho, age 34, Kim Sora, age 16. The ceremony was happening on every human world at the same time. Millions of people standing together remembering the dead, remembering why they fought. Admiral Song continued reading names as the crowd listened in silence. Children's names, parents' names, grandparents' names. Entire families erased in minutes by alien weapons. On the colony world of New Seoul, Major Ryu Jae-sung walked slowly through the ruins of his old neighborhood. 5 years ago, this had been a place full of life. Now it was twisted metal and broken concrete. Memorial flowers grew in the spaces where houses used to stand. Major Ryu stopped at a small crater. This was where his house had been, where his wife and 2 children had been sleeping when the alien bombs fell. He knelt down and placed fresh flowers on the ground. "I'm sorry I couldn't protect you," he whispered to the empty air. "But I promise they'll pay for what they did." Major Ryu had been off-world when the attack happened. He came home to find his family gone and his world burning. The aliens had called it an accident. They said their targeting systems had malfunctioned. They said they were trying to hit military bases, not homes. But Major Ryu had seen the attack patterns. The bombs had hit schools first, then hospitals, then residential areas where families lived. The military bases were touched last, almost as an afterthought. It wasn't an accident. It was murder. Later that day, Major Ryu addressed a gathering of the Human Defense Corps. Soldiers filled the rebuilt auditorium. Men and women who had volunteered to fight after New Busan. Everyone in the room had lost someone to alien weapons. 5 years ago, the Galactic Council came to us with promises, Major Ryu said. They promised friendship. They promised protection. They promised peace. He clicked a button and images filled the screen behind him. Alien diplomats shaking hands with human leaders. Smiling faces. Documents being signed. They told us we were joining a family of civilized worlds. They told us that war was a thing of the past. They told us our children would grow up in safety. The images changed. Now they showed the bombing of New Busan, cities turning to fire, people running in terror, children crying for parents who would never come home. "This is what their promises were worth," Major Ryu said. His voice was steady, but his hands shook with anger. "This is what their friendship looked like." A young soldier raised her hand. "Sir, what about the peace talks? The news says the aliens want to end the war." "The aliens want to end the war because they're losing it," Major Ryu replied. "They want peace because they're afraid. They want to negotiate because they know what's coming." He clicked the button again. New images appeared, human ships, human weapons, human soldiers training. The screens showed the vast military machine that humanity had built since New Busan. "We trusted them once," Major Ryu said. "We believed their lies once. We let our guard down once." His voice grew louder. "Never again." The soldiers in the audience nodded. Many of them had tears in their eyes, but their faces were hard as stone. Meanwhile, on the industrial world of New Tokyo, Captain Lee So-young led a meeting of human military commanders. The room was full of officers from every branch of the human military. They had gathered to discuss the alien peace offer. "Intelligence reports confirm what we suspected," Captain Lee said. "The aliens are not negotiating from strength. They're begging for mercy." She activated a holographic display showing the galaxy. Red dots marked alien territories. Blue dots showed human space. But there were a lot more blue dots than there had been 5 years ago. "We've taken back 37 star systems in the past year alone," Captain Lee continued. "Our ships are faster, our weapons are stronger, our tactics are superior. The aliens can't match us anymore." General Choi Min-ho spoke up from the back of the room. "What about their bioweapon research?" "Intelligence says they've been experimenting on human prisoners." Captain Lee's expression darkened. "We found the research facility on Proxima Centauri last month. What we discovered there," she paused. "The aliens tested their weapons on captured civilians. Men, women, children. They watched them die while taking notes." The room erupted in angry voices. Officers shouted questions and demands for revenge. Captain Lee raised her hand for silence. "The footage from the facility has been classified," she said. But I can tell you this, what the aliens did there goes beyond war crimes. It was systematic torture disguised as science. Colonel Jang Won-ho stood up. Then why are we even talking about peace? Why don't we just finish them? Captain Lee looked around the room. Because that's what makes us different from them. We don't kill civilians. We don't torture prisoners. We don't commit genocide. Her voice got harder. But that doesn't mean we forgive. And that doesn't mean we forget. On Earth, engineer Kwon Dong-hwan walked through the largest shipyard in human space. The facility stretched for kilometers in every direction. Thousands of workers swarmed over dozens of ships under construction. How many vessels can we build per month now? Asked his assistant, Dr. Park Hye-jin. 300 combat ships, 50 support vessels, Kwon replied. We're producing at 3 times pre-war levels. Dr. Park looked amazed. How is that possible? Necessity, Kwon said simply. After New Busan, every human colony became a weapons factory. Every citizen became a worker. Every resource became focused on one goal, making sure we're never helpless again. They walked past a massive dreadnought taking shape. The ship was larger than anything humans had built before the war. Its armor was thicker, its weapons more powerful, its shields stronger. The aliens think they know what human ships can do, Kwon said. They're basing their plans on our old technology. They don't know about the new weapons. They don't know about the new shields. They don't know what's coming. In the capital city of Earth, President Nam Ji-hae prepared to address the human worlds. The speech would be broadcast to every colony, every ship, every outpost where humans lived. She stood in her office, looking out at the city beyond. 5 years ago, this place had been full of hope and dreams of galactic friendship. Now it was the command center of a war machine. Madam President, said her aide, it's time. President Nam walked to the podium as cameras focused on her face. Across human space, billions of people stopped what they were doing to listen. My fellow humans, she began. 5 years ago, we were betrayed. We offered friendship and received war. We offered trust and received lies. We offered peace and received death. Images appeared on screens across the galaxy. The signing of the original peace treaty with the aliens. The celebration that followed. The hope in human faces as they welcomed new friends. 3,200,047,000. 891 of our people died because we believed alien promises. President Nam continued. Children in their beds. Families at their dinner tables. Students in their schools. All murdered by beings who smiled at us while planning our destruction. The images changed to show the memorial services happening across human space. Millions of people standing in silence remembering the dead. Today, those same aliens come to us again with words of peace. They say they are tired of war. They say they want friendship. They say we should trust them. President Nam's voice grew cold. They said all of this before. She paused, letting the words sink in. But we are not the same humans we were 5 years ago. We have learned. We have grown. We have become stronger. And most importantly, her voice filled with steel, we have remembered. The camera zoomed in on President Nam's face. Her eyes were hard as diamonds. We remember every child's cry. We remember every parent's loss. We remember every promise they broke and every lie they told. She leaned forward. And we will never forget. President Nam straightened up. The aliens want peace now because they know they cannot win. They want negotiations because they fear what comes next. They want mercy because they remember what they did to us. Images flashed across the screen. Human fleets in space, human weapons being tested, human soldiers training. The galaxy's new reality. We will go to their peace talks, President Nam said. We will listen to their words. We will consider their offers. But we will do so with our eyes open and our memories intact. The broadcast ended with a simple image. The memorial wall on New Busan, stretching up toward the sky like an accusation against the stars. Across human space, the message was clear. Humanity remembered everything, and they would never be victims again. Space around the Zephyrian homeworld had never seen so many ships at once. 10,000 human vessels emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming like deadly stars. At the center of the fleet, Admiral Kim Dae-ho stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching alien panic unfold on his screens. Sir, reported Lieutenant Commander Yu Min-jung, we're receiving surrender transmissions from over 300 alien vessels. They're requesting permission to stand down. Admiral Kim nodded. Grant them permission. No one fires unless fired upon. The massive human dreadnought Remembrance led the fleet toward the planet below. Its weapons were powered but not aimed. Its shields were up but not attacking. The message was clear. Humanity was strong enough to destroy everything but chose restraint instead. On 12 different worlds across the galaxy, similar scenes played out. General Choi Min-ho commanded the ground forces landing on alien planets. But these weren't invasion forces. They were liberation armies. Remember, General Choi told his troops over the communication system, "We're here to free prisoners and capture war criminals, not to hurt civilians. Every alien family has children. Every alien parent loves those children. We don't make war on children." Human soldiers landed on Corvidian soil with weapons ready but not firing. They moved through alien cities while civilians watched from windows and doorways. The aliens expected massacre. Instead, they got something they had never seen before: an army that protected the innocent while hunting the guilty. On the bridge of the human carrier Defiant, Admiral Lim Seo-jun watched as alien battle fleets surrendered without fighting. Ship after ship powered down its weapons and activated distress beacons. Entire armadas that had terrorized human colonies now begged for mercy. "Admiral," said his communications officer, "the Nexari High Command is requesting immediate talks. They're offering unconditional surrender." "Tell them to get in line," Admiral Lim replied. "Half the galaxy wants to surrender to us today." It was true. As news spread that humans had assembled the largest fleet in galactic history, alien governments collapsed in panic. Some tried to flee to distant systems, others locked themselves in bunkers. Most simply gave up and waited for human justice. But humanity had learned something important in 5 years of war. Victory without mercy created only more enemies. True peace required justice, not revenge. On the former Galactic Council's capital world, Ambassador Park Soo-jin walked into the great assembly hall where she had listened to alien lies just days before. Now the same aliens knelt before a human tribunal, their proud heads bowed in defeat. "The charges are simple," announced Judge Park In-suk as she read from an ancient human legal document. "Genocide against civilian populations, war crimes against prisoners, crimes against sentient beings, conspiracy to commit species extinction." Chancellor Vorth Prime and his fellow leaders listened to the charges in silence. They had been caught in their lies. The evidence of their crimes filled holographic displays around the courtroom. Battle footage showing deliberate attacks on hospitals and schools. Laboratory records of experiments on human children. Communication intercepts revealing plans for complete human extinction. "How do you plead to these charges?" Judge Park asked. "Guilty," whispered Vorth Prime. His voice was so quiet that the court's amplification system barely picked it up. "Guilty to all charges." The other alien leaders nodded their agreement. There was no point in denying what everyone could see. Judge Park looked down at the beings who had once ruled half the galaxy. "This court finds you guilty of all charges. The sentence is exile to designated worlds under permanent human supervision. You will live, but you will never again hold power over others." Some humans had wanted execution. Others had demanded that the aliens be imprisoned forever. But Judge Park had chosen a different path, one that removed dangerous leaders while preserving life. In the audience, Major Ryu Jae-sung watched the sentencing with mixed feelings. Part of him wanted revenge for his dead family, but another part of him was proud that humanity had chosen justice over vengeance. As the former alien leaders were led away, Ambassador Park Soo-jin stepped forward to address the court. "Today marks the end of the Galactic Council's rule," she said, "but it also marks the beginning of something new. Humanity offers the galaxy what the old order never could: true peace through strength, justice through law, and freedom through protection of the innocent." She turned to face the cameras that were broadcasting across known space. "To the alien worlds watching this, humanity bears you no hatred. Your leaders lied to you just as they lied to us. Your soldiers were told they were fighting for defense when they were really fighting for conquest. Your people were kept ignorant of the crimes committed in your name." Images appeared on screens throughout the courtroom. Human ships distributing food and medicine to alien refugees. Human doctors treating alien wounded. Human engineers helping to rebuild alien cities damaged in the war. "We offer you what we always offered," Ambassador Park continued. "Friendship based on truth. Trade based on fairness. Peace based on mutual respect." Her voice grew firm. But we will never again be victims of lies and betrayal. On Earth, Admiral Kim Dae-ho stood in his command center, watching reports come in from across the galaxy. Alien fleets were surrendering everywhere. Alien governments were collapsing. Alien civilians were discovering the truth about their leaders' crimes. "Sir," reported Colonel Lee Hyo-seok, "we're receiving formal surrender documents from the Zephyrian Empire, the Corvidian Alliance, and the Nixari Federation. That's 9 of the 12 species accounted for." "What about the other 3?" Admiral Kim asked. "The Thakari are requesting asylum on human worlds. The Morkai are offering to become a human protectorate. The Velnesh? Well, they've completely disbanded their government and are asking for help rebuilding from scratch." Admiral Kim walked to his window and looked out at the stars. 5 years ago, humanity had been naive victims of alien betrayal. Today, they were the galaxy's strongest power. But with that power came responsibility. "Send messages to all surrendering governments," he ordered. "Humanitarian aid will begin immediately. War crimes trials will be conducted according to human law. Reconstruction will begin as soon as security is established." He paused, thinking about the children of New Busan who would never grow up. The families of New Daejeon who died believing in alien promises of peace. "And make sure they understand," Admiral Kim added. "This is not conquest. This is liberation. We're freeing the galaxy from the kind of leaders who murder children and call it strategy." Months later, Ambassador Park Soo-jin stood on an observation deck of the human space station Freedom, looking out at a galaxy at peace. Alien and human ships moved together through space, carrying trade goods and medical supplies instead of weapons. Former enemy worlds were rebuilding under human protection. It wasn't perfect. Some aliens still resented human authority. Some humans still wanted revenge for past crimes. But it was working. The galaxy was learning to live without fear. "Ambassador," said her aide, Captain Kim Young-ho, "we're receiving a message from the new Zephyrian government. They're requesting permission to establish a cultural exchange program with human colonies." Ambassador Park smiled. "Approved. But make sure they understand the rules. No military vessels, no weapons research, no lies." "Yes, ma'am." She turned back to the window. In the distance, she could see ships from dozens of worlds working together to build a new space station. Aliens and humans side by side, creating something better than what had come before. "You know what the difference is between now and 5 years ago?" she asked Captain Kim. "What's that, Ambassador?" 5 years ago, we trusted because we were naive. Today, they trust because we're strong." She watched a human patrol ship escort an alien freighter safely through dangerous space. It's better this way. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Peace couldn't be built on lies and weakness. It had to be built on strength and truth. Humanity had provided both. On the memorial world that had once been New Busan, Major Ryu Jae-sung visited his family's grave one last time before his transfer to the Frontier Guard. The flowers he placed were fresh, and the quantum crystal memorial gleamed in the afternoon sun. "We did it," he whispered to the names carved in crystal. "They can't hurt anyone else the way they hurt you." "I promise." A small alien child ran past, chasing a ball while her human guardian watched carefully. The child species had once been humanity's enemy. Now they were refugees under human protection, learning to live in peace. Major Ryu watched the child play and felt something he hadn't experienced in 5 years. Hope for the future. The galaxy's leaders had pleaded for peace when they faced defeat. Humanity had given them peace through victory. It was a peace built on remembered pain, enforced strength, and tempered mercy. It was a peace that would last, because humanity remembered everything, and the galaxy would never forget what happened to those who betrayed that trust. The war was over. The reckoning was complete. The galaxy was free, and in the depths of space, human ships patrolled the stars, making sure it stayed that way.